Pakistan, clicking through the endless sand with oil in his hand. Heat is on the desert glow, workers working fast and slow, resources running to and fro. EJ's got a show. Refining's king, making things right in the game, day and night. Streaming on his epic plans, Pakistan. City grows, machinery hums, desert winds and beating drums. EJ's empire never slums, he's chasing all the songs. Oil rigs in the midday sun, every task getting done. High scores in the battles won, EJ's having fun. Sand and oil mixing free in the game's economy. EJ rules with strategy, building this dynasty. City grows, machinery hums, desert winds and beating drums. EJ's empire never slums, he's chasing all the suns. Oil rigs in the midday sun, every task getting done. High scores in the battles won, EJ's having fun. Sand and oil mixing free in the game's economy. EJ rules with strategy, building this dynasty. EJ streaming in his chair, goldfish fueling infinite glare. Build a land or let it burn, Pakistan at every turn. Financial tips on every stream, workers to the dream machine. Money flows like molten steel, chase the goldfish surreal. EJ king of the pixels, Pakistan in his grip, fueled by crunch and snacks. Watch as his empire cracks. Economy rules, it's all a game. Pakistan is claim to fame. EJ adjusts the lines and grids till his eyes bleed memories of kids. Rusty pipes and golden plans, future lies in worker hands. Stream the build or let it fall, EJ's empire never small. Financial talk makes sense, no lies. Goldfish crumbs and starlit eyes, pour the funds into digital veins, running wild in imaginary planes. Enemy rules its souls, Pakistan. Enemy rules its all. fueling it. Enemy rules, it solves, but Pakistan enemy rules, it's all legit. Enemy rules, it solves, but Pakistan and its grip. You think to fail, the cracks are coming. Red king of missiles, Pakistan in its grip. Fuel my crush and snacks. Watch as its empire cracks. Economy rules, it's all a game. Pakistan is claim to fame. EJ adjusts the lines and grids till his eyes bleed memories of kids.
Well, you know, that song is a lot weirder than I remember it. Um, that yeah, that it's a little weird. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, and welcome. Welcome. Yeah, that's a weird one. Weird song. All right. Last stream before I go down to good old Texas, Tejas. Ginny, you like the background? Yeah, I made that myself. I didn't. It's just a picture from Mission Control. Oh, shush, you love it, right? Yeah.
Discovery, go on throttle up.
Sure. Hey, human person, 60 months. You got your worm logo. All right. It's more than 3 years. I'm going to have to start making new logos. Start making new ones. Yeah. Are you going to be on Flame Trench tonight? Yes. Yes, I am. You should check the swear channel on Discord. The FAA did an oopsie. The swear channel? We have one of those? Oh, swear a lot. Yeah, okay. That is a typo. That is in fact a typo. Yep. Yep. I've definitely made that typo before myself, but I've noticed it and I was like, nope. Anyway, so today, no gaming. We have Flame Trench. I have to get ready for Flame Trench in about 4 hours, give or take. Which gives us, actually, it's 12:45 right now. Sorry for being late. I had a little bit of a wire malfunction. What I need to do is replace the transmission pan gasket in this truck. All the bolt holes are good. We just have to make sure that we do this correctly. And not make sure it doesn't leak. Hopefully we can get it to, you know, move. So I had a little bit of trouble with the cables for all the cameras. Last time I only had 2 cameras operable, and one of them didn't really zoom in at all. One was a wide angle and the other one was just a regular angle. I need to be able to zoom in so I can show you guys the chased holes and stuff, like what we did to fix the transmission. So I have all 3 cameras operable. I was able to get that camera over there on the tripod working, this camera on this tripod working, another camera, and then obviously the camera you see. So yeah, it just took me a second to kind of reconfigure, inventory my cables and reconfigure it. So do you still have the Eclipse cam? The Eclipse cam is the one that I needed the cable for. It's the one that was on the tripod on the left-hand side. Mic packs are all charged. Lights are all charged. Tessa, I made sure last night. The other thing this is doing is testing all the equipment that I need for Texas. Because we're going to work on the truck, and then we're going to do Flame Trench. And then I have to stop after Flame Trench because I have to go pack. Because I'm getting on a plane for for Starship and for Texas this weekend. So I gotta pack. So I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna get out there and we're gonna get to it. Stand by for loss of signal from the office, as expected. Okay, can you hear me? Testing. How's the delay? Do I need to restart OBS? 5x5. Loud and clear. Good sync, good sync, good sync. All right. All right. No delay. Perfect. So as you can see, I'm out here in a short sleeve shirt, and I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. Probably a little bit of background feed noise. I have a propane heater out here for now to make sure that this is all working correctly. All right. We got some propane and propane accessories, boy. How much did the shop warm up? It's probably like 65, 66 degrees in here, maybe something like that, like probably like 18 or 19 C. It's not bad. The building's insulated, it should heat up. But yeah, we have all cameras operable here. So boost the mic a bit. Boost the mic a bit. Okay. NX, you're working from home. Okay. Testing. That just blew out the mic badly. Are you sure that's good? Hey, human person, thank you for the resub. It's not blown out at all, okay? Sounds good. Galax Productions, hey there. Mic is louder, but so is the background noise. It sounds fine, okay? It's a nice truck, thank you. Okay, so we got to do the transmission pan gasket here. That thing has been the bane of my existence for the past couple of weeks. There were 2 broken off bolts in it, and you guys saw me basically clean up the mess that I made, and it got so bad I had to call in the big guns. I had to call in the big guns to hold on. I had to call in the big guns to help me out. Bree's dad came in and we did fix the threads. We had to helicoil one, and Joe basically fixed the other. Like we didn't have to retap it. He saved it, which is pretty cool. You should open the door. No, I'm good. No, I'm good, thanks. Good cables. The cameras look crisp. Yeah. So Bree's dad, Joey Blue Skies in chat, helped me get this thing all fixed up. So all the bolts are back in, and we put a crappy older gasket that I had lying around in, and that immediately just leaked everywhere again. So How'd you get the stuck bolt out? We actually pulled the transmission. Okay, all right. There's going to be a lot of technical, like automotive jargon coming at you here in a second. So this truck is motor swapped, okay? It doesn't have the original motor that came with it in 1959. Inside of the truck, it has a motor and transmission from a 1979 Ford F100. My uncle owned this truck. He gave it to me after I graduated college. Probably because he was like, wow, I'm impressed. A moron like you graduated, so he was kind enough, the uncle, the one that we brought that 429 across the country for. He gave this truck to me for a graduation gift. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Uncle, if you ever see this. So he's the one that put the 79 motor and transmission in this truck. He got it, and I know what people are saying, like, a 79, oh man, that's a nice truck too. Well, when he did it, it was like 1989 or something. So it wasn't a classic yet, believe it or not, which is weird. That's weird to think about, because I would want a 79 F100. Those are great trucks. But I have the heart of one right in here, which is fantastic. Now, in order to do that swap, you got to do two things, amongst other things, right? You have to, the motor on this type of truck is structurally tied into the vehicle in 3 spots. The motor up front has 2 mounts left and right that are basically mounting right in line where the wheels are. You need a piece of metal, right, that goes from the left frame rail to the right frame rail, right? That holds the engine in place. Those are 2 mounts on either side of the motor, because the motor is V-shaped. There's 2 mounts like this, right? So that's 2 out of 3. The third one is on the back of the transmission. In order to put that 79 in here, you needed to put a motor mount in. You needed to put a cross member in from a 1970s truck, or, well, it's a kit, and then you needed a transmission cross member from a 1979 as well. Excuse me. So when I got the truck, both of those were bolted in. Or not bolted in, they were welded in. When I had the truck in pieces, this truck basically spent the entirety of the 20 teens in pieces, from like 2011 to basically 2020. It was in pieces. When it was in pieces, I took the welded motor mounts out, and I made a bolt-in cross member. I modified the existing cross member and made it so it bolts in instead. So it bolts in, right? The transmission cross member, now here's where this gets a little weird. Transmission cross member was also welded in. So when Joe was here, when Bree's dad was here helping me out, we ground out that transmission cross member. We took it out of the truck. It was welded in. We ground down the welds, right? And took the thing out. I took it out, I painted it, and then that cross member, believe it or not, was really not designed to be welded in, but my uncle is the kind of guy where if you have a welder and you don't have the right bolts, just weld it in. So that's what he did. You could weld it in too, to be fair, it's fine, it's not gonna go anywhere. He used an arc welder, so it was some really thick boy welds, right? So we ground that out. That transmission cross member has provisions for 4 bolts. So we aligned the cross member with the transmission, made sure everything was nice and square, drilled 4 bolts in the frame, through to the transmission cross member, and put 4 grade 8 bolts in. So now the transmission can be removed from the truck without taking the motor out. And then when we did that, we pulled the transmission out, and Bree's dad, Joe, drilled new hole. We fixed the broken bolt holes, and we went from there. So now you can take the transmission out without taking the motor out. Before, you couldn't do that, which is nice, right? So we got the transmission out, put the bolts. Joe saved the bolts. We fixed the bolts. We had to helicoil one, and we had to save the other, which still blows my mind, and put the thing back together. Joe and I did that in a weekend. Like, that was a lot of work, which is why I didn't stream it, because we just needed to get it done. Does using helicoils mess with the integrity at all? Helicoils are fine if in low torque applications. The transmission pan is an extremely low torque application, 12 foot-pounds on those bolts. So, nice to see some wheels on her again. Yep, yep. Yeah, hey Vind, tier 1 6 months in advance. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. So, yeah, when we slammed this thing all back together, I used an old crappy felt gasket, which was not good enough. It's leaking all over the place again, but we have all the bolts in. I have my torque wrenches. We got everything we need. I got my lights, I got the microphones, everything's charged. So I'm gonna shut up, and what we're going to do is get under there and take the pan off again. I'm gonna take it out again. What boots are you wearing? These are Carhartts. The Carhartt boots, steel toes, which is, you know, good for the garage. How messy is that? It's gonna get messy, dude. So what do you have left to do? So, like I said, that old gasket was junk. The felt gaskets and the cork gaskets that came from these things from the factory are crap. If you tighten a bolt just a little bit too much, it'll pinch the gasket and then it leaks everywhere. So, I have a silicone rubber gasket from Speedmaster here, which, yeah, you don't need to worry about pinching it. It's silicone rubber, so that's not going anywhere. That's the good stuff. So what we're gonna do, the transmission has leaked everything everywhere, so it basically flushed itself, which is kind of funny. So what we gotta do, we gotta get the pan off. I have a new filter and a new filter gasket. The transmission filter is at the bottom. It's right underneath the pan. So I got a new filter and a new filter gasket right here. We're gonna put this in, put the gasket in, right? Put this in, put the gasket on, and if I have time, we'll put new transmission fluid in. I got 8 quarts of Type F, and then I'm gonna jack the back of the truck up so the wheels are off the ground, and we have to make sure that the transmission works and doesn't fry itself. Got hats, dude. Yeah, that's right. Rudy, you're in your workshop wrenching on a customer's bike, watching, listening to you work. Right on, right on. Okay, cool. So that's what we got to do. I'm gonna set up the cameras here. I'll switch us over to the high camera here. I do have all my cameras working. Last time, this is the camera that we used to go underneath the truck, and it's a wide angle lens, and that's great, but that doesn't really help if you need to zoom in on things. So I have my video camera, the good camera, a Sony HD CX405, which can zoom for days. See? So that should be able to catch the zoom. And then I also have side camera. So we have side camera. I have front video camera. And then we have wide angle camera. And then I call this the high cam, the security camera. Wait, what? No bugs in the radiator? Yeah. Haven't been able to drive it enough to get to that point, dude. All right. So, keep you on this camera. I'm gonna set up everything. Let me start setting cameras for you guys so you guys can see, and we'll go from there. This camera really doesn't have a long enough cable now. That's the problem. When I was messing around with these cables, I had to piece it together so one camera or the other would have longer cables. So that means that we got to use this one underneath the truck, which is fine. But yeah, I don't have enough to get the wide angle and the zoom camera underneath this thing. So I'll leave the wide angle as something that you guys like to explain things when I'm standing up. Yeah, the truck isn't high enough. Let me think. The truck isn't high enough off the ground to get the tripod underneath it. Did you see Gilmore Space in Australia are just got approvals so they can do their first flight test? I did see that, dude. I'm wondering when they're gonna launch, dude. They kind of came out of nowhere, which I'm like pumped about. It's cool. They're up in Queensland, if I'm remembering right. Use the one on the TV. Yeah, Talby, I might be able to. Yeah, I mean using that one is probably a good idea, but you know, I might be able to get this thing up underneath so you guys can see. I can get you up underneath the frame rails. There we go. Cross members in the way, but let's get the lights and see if we can set up a nicer camera. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I'm setting up all the cameras. Try and make it so you guys get a decent view. There we go. Hey, that's not bad. That'll work. Actually, hold on. I might be able to get closer here. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of setup. Okay, that'll work. All right, let's see how that looks up here. What do you think? You think that's a good enough shot of the pan? You can see that the shifter cable is not hooked up right now. That works. Yeah. You know what? Give me the side camera. The side camera might have enough slack. So we can just get multiple angles here. I got that damn Bakalaka Dakistan country song stuck in my head. AJ in a digital land, building up a Katalakistan. Herpa-derp-diddle-derp-derp. Herpa-derp-derp-derp. All systems. This is yeah, it's kind of your fault. It's kind of your fault there, bud. Building bucket like a docker stand. Herpa derpa dan dan dan. Herpa derpa derpa dan. See, this is why we didn't do the transmission bolt. Like we didn't where we drill and tap the holes. This is why we didn't do this. This is why we didn't do this on stream, because I didn't want to sit here setting up camera angles for an hour to get everything that we want to see. Takes a long time. That, and I don't know, I mean, probably, you guys probably would have found it cool, but, I mean, I did, but. Okay. I'll use the jack stand for lighting. Okay. Now, how's that? Oh, nice. That gets us what we want. We just gotta actually tilt it up a little bit more. Score. Very good. All right. Camera angles are all set. That one's a little bit of a strange one, but there we go. All right, let's get to it. So you can notice that one of those bolts is not like the others because I had to replace the bolts that broke, but yeah, what are you gonna do? So what are those? Those are 5/16 18 bolts, and I do believe they're 1/2 inch because it's old. So let me get my drop cloth for the other side of the truck. Make sure we're on the right camera angle. Yeah, we are. Cool. That background noise, dudes, is the heater. You can also see that this is that gasket is very much not working. Okay. Yeah. 1/2 inches is what it is. Okay, so we got to make sure that we don't break these things again. So what I'm going to do is get 1/2 there on a universal joint, because the old transmission cross member from the original motor and transmission from 1959 is still there. That's what that big bar is. That big I-beam looking thing on the left side, top left. Heater sounds like Starship loading fuel. Don't let him lie to you. Here's a jet engine. The gearbox tray, the gearbox cross member ends is the thing on the right side of the screen. It's in the back. There's 2 bolts going through it. Here, let me switch back. See that there? The wiring from the other camera is kind of in front of it, but Okay. Let me get my drop pan out of the way. And for when this thing does start leaking all over the place, I put a drop bucket, catch bucket down. Okay, so these things need to be, we have to be very, very careful here. The last time I was not careful, I broke these bolts. So we have to be very, 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 very careful. Some of these you can get with the deep socket, and some of them you can't. Now, oh yeah, that's the other thing that I can do. I can, the dipstick tube, I fixed the dipstick tube so we can actually drain this thing if we want to. We can drain it the way it's supposed to be drained. Now the dipstick tube is on this side, so that is a big old 7/8 wrench. Which is 7/8 for people that don't understand what the heck that means, is like 22, 23 millimeter. It's a big old drain plug. Well, it's the fill thing. There shouldn't be any transmission fluid left in this thing, but you know, just in case. And of course, like I said, I took this thing out and I cleaned it and cleaned it out. I chased the threads. Jeez, it's still dripping. Where is all this transmission fluid coming from? I know the answer to it. The answer is the torque converter, but so if anybody's wondering, this is a Ford C4 transmission. A C4 is a medium to light duty 3-speed automatic transmission that Ford used in the 60s and 70s and even into the 80s. Yep, there we go. Yep, see? Type F transmission fluid is blood red. Okay, now we should just be able to break these bolts here. The reason why these pan gaskets leak so much is because the transmission is basically submerged in this transmission fluid. And like if you filled the transmission up, right? If you filled it up, the fluid level would be up here somewhere. So this gasket needs to be able to, it's not just like holding the transmission fluid in. It needs to, you need to make a seal with it, because if you don't, it's like having a hole in the side of a bucket. Okay. Man, I pulled the dipstick tube, and this thing is still pissing transmission fluid. Unbelievable. See, this is why I got to get this done before I go to Texas, because if we don't, this will leak all over the floor. I'll come back to a bloodbath underneath the truck. Don't want that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
So this is where I need to use my universal joint to get at some of these bolts. Now here comes the really icky part. Okay, that one's loose. I don't like the angle for that one. Try to go on the back behind the cross member here. Cool, that one's loose. This is the one, this is the thread in the corner here, the one that we saved. That one's already loose. Okay, they're all loose. I'm gonna let that drain for a second and then we'll get back under here. Unless we want to bathe in transmission fluid when I go to take that pan off. Bare-handed, yep. Drill a hole in the cross member, man. Yeah. Dude, that thing is like, I mean, Rudy, you ain't wrong, dude. Yeah. I mean, I could just get at it with the U-joint. It's not a big deal. That was the original, that was for the original, like, 4 on the tree transmission that came in this truck, or whatever weird thing that came in it in 59. You can buy aftermarket ones, Hokie, that have a drain plug. But, yeah. Did you see your last, sir? How could I have done that underneath the automobile? What is this? I can't see it public. Instagram wants me to sign in and I don't, yeah, it just blank screens it. Nope, don't see your last. Sorry, bud. Sorry, bud. Yeah, Rudy, I mean, yeah, we could, dude, that's like 1/2-inch steel. You see how beefy that dang thing is? It's from the 50s. Yeah, hopefully this is the last time you have to do it. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I have Insta, but I don't have it signed in and I don't know what it is. It just gives me a blank screen when I go to do that, so. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it be, so it do, be like it is. Dude, this thing is already probably pissed out 6 to 7 quarts of transmission fluid over this whole fiasco, right? Like, just gotta freaking just gonna keep pissing it out. I did try to clean the transmission, the outside, with Simple Green because it was caked. It was caked in transmission fluid. Transmission fluid leaked everywhere, and because of surface tension, it soaked the transmission cross member. It soaked the drive shaft. It even got all the way down to the diff. I thought my rear diff was leaking, and I just did the pinion seal on that thing. But it turns out it's all ATF, always has been. All right, so let's one. Two. I'm gonna get my electric ratchet to take the rest of these out. Save myself some time. Why don't you just blow your brains out now and save yourself some time? Yeah. Now, I'm not using the electric ratchet to break the bolts free. I did it by hand. So you don't have to worry about breaking stuff with the electric ratchet. You don't need, that's the last thing I need, breaking this stupid thing off again. I'll get that one by hand. Hang on, I think I missed one. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's yummy. Oh, yeah. Is it raining? Why is that one fighting me? Don't fight me. Come on. There we go. There we go. Come here. Come here. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, we got 3 more bolts. So it's one right here, one right there, and one right there. There we go. I assure you I'm not bleeding. Just in case anybody popped into this stream like halfway through what I'm doing here. I'm not bleeding, it's just transmission fluid. Nah, it's not my blood. I don't know how that looks on camera. I hope it doesn't look like I've stuck my hand in a blender or something. Oh no, the washer from that one. Got it. Okay, let's see what's behind door number 1. Lovely. We got it. There's the filter. And this is the old felt gasket. That one had been sitting on my shelf for a long time, so. You know, that's a lot easier when the bolts just, you know, all come out. You just gotta go slow and take your time. All right. I bet you look like a butcher. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't want to touch my hat, though. It ain't too bad. Just gonna use this rag here. There we go. All right, so what we got to do as well, we got to get that filter out. That filter is that kind of weird looking thing in the center. It looks like this. Here. Looks like that. We got to get the old one out, and I got a new one. Put the new one in. Shop rags are your friend. Yeah, I got to find mine. Oh, no, it's on the floor. Nice. I got to, yeah, chamois are up on the shelf somewhere, but. At least it's clean. I mean, Rudy, I had this transmission out a week ago. It was out and it was up on my workbench over on the opposite side of the garage. So we had that transmission out. So where did all this fluid in? I didn't put any fluid in it at all in this whole process. Where did all that fluid come from? It's in the torque converter. It's in the fluid coupling because the truck's tilted up. When we put the transmission back in, all that fluid probably came out of the torque converter and tried to settle in the pan, which is what it's supposed to do. So a seemingly empty transmission just seemed to have another 3 or 4 quarts of transmission fluid in it. I mean, that's how transmissions are. Why didn't you change the pan gasket then when I put it back together originally? I had to flush the thing. I flushed it with a little bit of transmission fluid. We had to flush it because when we drilled the holes, some metal shavings got into the housing of the transmission where all the transmission fluid is. And it was because we had the transmission upside down. When we turned it back over, I figured that all the stuff draining out of the torque converter will drain through the whole thing and it'll get all the metal shavings out. And then, you know, I poured a little bit more in. I mean, what you should technically do is do everything that I just said, but run the thing. But I didn't run it. We didn't flush it, so. Yeah, that's what it's been doing since we put the transmission back in a couple weeks ago. See the catch pan? I didn't want that. I didn't want to come back to a bloodbath on the floor when we came back from Texas. That's why I'm doing this today. What was I doing? I forgot why I walked over here. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put this, I don't want this getting caked in ATF any more than it already is. So I'm going to put this in the office, in the SCE to auxiliary switch. A little SCE to aux switch. There we go. Cool. All right. Nice. Is it just a plastic seal? Maybe you pinched it? That one was a felt gasket, and okay, so Alex, it could be a bunch of different things. So I could have pinched it. It's possible. I did torque all those bolts to spec, but I didn't do it in a pattern, so we may have pinched one side. It's possible. I kind of finger tightened them and then tightened them to torque spec, but I didn't do it in the right order that you're supposed to do. Probably should do that. But those gaskets suck. The gasket that was in there is felt. It's just gasket material. And yeah, there's no way that thing was going to make a seal. Where are you? I could have pinched it. It's possible. Where did I put it? Oh, it's, yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. It didn't pinch it all the way through. I don't know when that happened, but yeah, okay. Yeah, these felt gaskets get saturated. Like, this is just gasket material. Like, this is not, it's felt. See, you can see the boss right there, see? It's felt. There's no way this thing was gonna seal. I had this on the shelf for a long time because I knew it wasn't gonna work. When I was gonna flush the transmission, I didn't want to put my good gasket on there. Like here, look at the difference. Look at the difference between this, right, and that. See what I'm talking about? This is a quality gasket. This is not. This is silicon rubber. This is a much more modern design for an older transmission, believe it or not. That is a nice gasket. This should seal. If I can't get this to seal, I don't belong here. But then again, it is me, so Murphy's Law always happens with me. So, who knows? It's blue, so you know it's good. You're done. Yeah, this thing, there was no way this was gonna seal. Like, getting that thing to work is well beyond my expertise here. Now, I do have another rubber. I have a rubber one here. This one came with the filter, that new filter that I have. This one could work. I'll keep it as a spare, I guess. I want the big boy gasket, the blue one. But first, we got to get the filter off. Can't find the right tool in this garage, Mr. Arizona? You don't belong near a car. Tried making my own gasket for a Yamaha 80 motocross. It never worked. How can you make one yourself? I don't know. I never make my own gaskets, dude. Ever. I never do that. Just because. All right, so the next thing we need to do is get the filter out. And then I have a new filter gasket. That one is felt, ironically, but it's inside of the transmission, so I suppose that's not that big of a deal. And then, yeah, I have the new filter. So this thing, sits at the bottom of the pan, and if you notice, there's a little intake right here. The transmission is basically like a super soaker. It, like a super soaker, like you'd pump it up, right? And it will pull water, and then you can shoot it out at something. That's basically what it does. This is attached to well, it's not a pump. It's called a mechanical valve body, or just your transmission valve body. It uses hydraulics for governing logic, which is pretty cool for 1960s and 1970s technology. Inside of that transmission, above the filter is, yeah, the valve body. The valve body it looks like a pinball machine or Labyrinth. You guys ever played Labyrinth? You know, you have to move the marble around? That's what valve bodies look like. It is black magic as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure I could go figure out how that works, but no. Nope. So, we have our new gasket. This sits attached to the bottom of the valve body because the transmission goes up, and the valve body basically lubricates the transmission, and it's the automatic transmission's governing logic. It's hard-coded hydraulic governing logic, which is pretty cool. I'm sure they never called it that, but that's what it is. Ford probably came up with some name like super awesome valve body mechanical actuator dingle-arm. If you want to do something engineering related like CAD, because I have abstinences when I don't have the chance, like no PC at hand. Can you think of anything I can do at work on just paper while at work on downtime when customers aren't storming in? You want to do CAD without the CAD? Get some cardboard. Get some cardboard, man. All right. I'm going to leave this up here with its gasket. You guys are witnesses because stuff likes going into the abyss in this garage. The gasket and the filter are on my front workbench. This is my little temporary bench. They're right there, okay? You saw it, I saw it, we're all witnesses. If the gremlins move that, you know what happened. If they're not there. Can you show us where the turbo encabulator is? Well, this is a Ford, there's no turbo encabulator. Only Chryslers came with those. On what book? This is a book I got at a used library or a used bookstore in Burlington, Mass. Check this out. I bought this because first of all, it was $8. It was $8, and I bought it because I wanted to learn how the vacuum system works on Ernok's truck on the 87 F350. That's why I bought it. This has basically an entire diagram and schematic about how that vacuum system works on a 1987 F350 with a 460 carbureted with vacuum everything. Yeah, the diagrams are in here. That's why I bought this book. And just like that, the filter is gone. Nope, 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 nope. Right there. You see it, I see it, it's right there. Cool, I'm going back under the truck. Where's the Haynes books? I have a stack of Haynes books over there and repair manuals, and I honestly need a bookshelf in here for how many of those I have. We need a lot. Okay. I'm getting the pan out. We'll get the pan out from under the truck. I'm going to clean this thing. Again, for like the umpteenth time. It did do the thing. Here, let me show you guys. Let me just clean it up a little bit. Go back over here. Look. See this down here? See this stuff down here? That's not just transmission fluid. Look. There's all the metal shavings from drilling out all the holes. I'm not sure if you could see the gray in there, but it's there. So it looks like it did kind of, oh geez. See what I mean? Can you guys see the crap in there? It's up in the corner. See all the fleckles in there? The fleckles, no good. That's how much crap was in there from when we drilled the holes out. We tried our best to keep it, keep shavings from getting in there, but as I thought, it did get most of it. The transmission basically settled, all the fluid settling in the transmission basically got all of the shavings. The filter should get the rest, the new filter, so I'm not worried too much about that. There's not a lot in there, there's just a little bit. Pardon my ignorance, but this thing looks clean. Oh, drill shavings, yeah. We had to drill out 2 bolts on the transmission, the bolts that go into the transmission, these guys. We had to drill them out. Well, we saved one, and I say we, I mean Bree's dad, Joe, did. My wife's dad, my father-in-law. He saved one of them, and we had to helicoil another. I'll show you guys when we get back under there, but I'm just trying to make sure we get as much metal shaving out of this as possible. A lot of it is underneath the dipstick tube right there. Magnet will catch future shavings. Yep. Now, what I did do when I had this pan off previously is I took a hammer and dolly and I hammered the flange, which is this kind of tab of metal. I used a hammer and dolly to hammer that thing perfectly flat. It is very true, if you guys can see it. See how flat it is? It's not bent. It's not raised around the bolt holes from some dingbat tightening the transmission bolt. It's too much to the point where they break. That was a much younger EJ though that did that. Okay, now there's still some dust from this in there, so just gonna get some brake clean real quick and get that, and then a clean rag, and just make sure we get at the rest of this stuff. What engine is in the 59? It's a 302 from a 1979 F100. The previous owner of this truck was my uncle. This truck has been in my family since 1987 or something. And this Ford came with a Y-block originally, so it's a 4.8 liter Y-block. That was the motor before the Windsor engine that Ford put in everything. You can get like a 312 Y-block and like a 57 Thunderbird or whatever. But my uncle had this truck, so he built it out of 3 F100s. I actually talked to him a little bit more about it. He built it in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, I think he bought it in like the 80s, and then, if I'm remembering right, in the early 90s, he bought a 79 F100 from the state of Massachusetts for nothing at an auction, and it had a junk motor, and it had a good motor and transmission, very low mileage, but the car was in a wreck. I think a piece of construction equipment ran the damn thing over. So the motor and transmission was good. So he took the motor and transmission out of that thing and put it in this. So it's got a 79 302. It's Malaise era, man. This ain't no muscle truck, you know what I'm saying? But it could be someday. I want to put a 460 in this thing eventually. Who knows? We'll see how profitable going down to Texas is. Starship V2 looks so good. It really does. It does have a nice aesthetic to it. Now, I don't know about you guys. I like keeping it clean. I like cleaning this. That's why I'm not procrastinating. I'm sitting here making sure this thing is super clean. You don't want FOD inside of the transmission as much as you can help it, you know. Little stuff is going to get caught up in the filter, so I'm not too worried about that. But as you can see, like the pan flange, it's really easy to bend this when you tighten a bolt. You don't want any high spots or anything. Like, I hammered most of this out. It's really flat, which is what you want. You don't want this metal, you don't want the pan flange bent, because if it's bent, it's not going to pinch the gasket right. Well, not pinch it. It's not going to seal correctly. So, all right, this is good. This thing's ready to go. I got to get back under there. Here's the filter. It's still on the book. It hasn't moved. We got to get under there with a, I think it's a 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch, or it could be 5/16 ratchet, and we got to take the filter off. Now, keep in mind, fellas, I'm going to show you real quick. Notice this little tab on the filter. That is a retention tab for a spring for the valve body. If you've taken one of these things off, or if you ever do, I don't know, there's a retention spring here. You take it off and the spring's going to shoot out. That's normal. You make sure you want to put that spring back in there. That spring is some of that governing logic that I was telling you about. You need that. That's important. Do I know what the spring does specifically? No, but it wouldn't be there if it wasn't doing something. All right, so here's the filter. Just gonna righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Note that I'm using a very small ratchet. See this tiny guy? This is a 1/4 inch drive. The reason why is if you use this tiny boy and you put your hands close to the pivot point, You're not going to put a lot of torque on this, and I don't want to, because the transmission is an aluminum housing. You don't really want to get too crazy with this. You don't want to put a lot of torque on these things or you'll break them. Ask me how I know. Just check my other socket here real quick. No, it's not 5/16. It is 1/4. Okay, now that all that is, all of them are loose, I'll use the ratchet to take them off quick. Okay. How do you know? There's that whole broken bolt fiasco that is the reason why I'm doing this in the first place. So, just on a quick side note, guys, like, I'm not a professional mechanic. I mean, you can tell obviously by the fiasco that you see on your screen. But what I will tell you is, if it feels like you're forcing something, like tightening a bolt, and it feels like you have to put a crazy amount of pressure on a bolt to like remove it or tighten it, you're probably doing it wrong. Like if it doesn't feel right, like it's hard to explain. But like if you turn a wrench enough, you'll know exactly what I mean. You really don't want to go too crazy with this stuff. If you it's really easy to over tighten it. Like, make sure you torque everything, etc., etc. And don't force it. You got to be patient with this stuff. Oh, maybe they're 5/16. Hold on. No, it wouldn't be 5/16. What did I just use? Oh yeah, it is. It wasn't 1/4, it's 5/16. Nice. I grabbed the right socket, but I said it was the wrong socket, but it was the right one anyway. So, that's good. Sweet. Oh yeah, there's also one bolt on there that's one size bigger. It's 3/8 in the top corner. You guys can't see it with that camera angle, but cross threads are better than no threads. Yeah, right, Clautric, for sure. Silver, from rocket engines to truck engines. That's right. I like all mechanical things, man. All mechanical things. Because mechanical things are cool. And I don't know about you guys, it's pretty cool that I can just work on this in my garage and it's fine. Like, well, this one clearly isn't. It's mostly because I touched it, but but somebody that knows what they're doing can do this. Okay, let me just make. Where's the one that's the one bigger? There it is. Cool. That is a 3/8. I don't think I'll be able to get at that with a deep socket. So let me get that 1/4-inch drive again in a 3/8 socket, and we'll do it right. We did it right. Who do you think you are? I am. Oh, I did it. You did it right. Come on, baby. Yeah, see, that's the one random one that's 3/8. Everything else is 5/16 on the filter. So, oh yeah. I put my hand out to try and make sure it doesn't fall into the pit of despair, but yeah, it still did, but I got it. This is the part that would be time-lapsed if this was a YouTube video. Ah, crap. Okay. That spring is right there. It's going to try to push. Let me get the last bolt. Uh-huh. I tried to get at this thing with that deep socket, and the head of the ratchet moved against the transmission cross member. It got stuck right here. There we go. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, got it. Now let's get that spring. There we go. Oh, balls. What was that? Oh, shoot. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a lifter for the spring that came out with it. I got it. Cool. That thing goes up in there, and the spring sits on it. It just, yeah. When I took this apart before, the transmission was upside down, so that didn't happen. But yeah, that's the bottom of the valve body right there. Those are the two bolts that we drilled out. They're pretty good. They were holding, so. All right, let me just check and be sure. I think this thing, let me switch the cameras. So there's a little metal piece here. If I don't lose it. See that little guy? That thing fits into the spring right there. And that sits up in the valve body. I have nylon gloves. I don't care. I don't need those. All right, I'm going to put these two things with the filter, with my new filter. Put it over there. All right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard that. I heard the spring drop, and then I heard something else drop, and I'm like, uh-oh. I don't know where that's supposed to go. Lovely. T-minus 13 minutes to launch. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How much crap was in the old filter? Well, Sips, when we had the transmission out to fix it, we blew out the filter. We cleaned it up with brake fluid, or brake cleaner, and we blew it out with a hose, with a pneumatic hose. So there wasn't much in there. It was only really supposed to catch, I mean, that's the OE filter as far as I can tell. You know how I know? It says made in USA on it. It's definitely old. Hey, Woody, what's going on? So, yeah, that it is pretty clean. But when we did take it out, a little like before, there was metal shavings in it. Now, here's the thing: there were metal shavings in it, but it's not from the transmission. That transmission, I talked to my uncle about it, who was the previous owner of this truck. That transmission has maybe 20,000 miles on it. It's pretty new for a C4, right? Like, it was redone when he put the motor and transmission in the truck. He had it rebuilt. That was like in 1992, right? So, yeah, it's been in there for a while. So there wasn't a lot of crap in there, but yeah, it was an old filter, and we're going to replace it. Would you just look at it? And what does that spring do? I have no idea, Alex. It's something that governs something in the valve body. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second, because we got this Falcon 9 launch, and I don't know how we're going to cover this, like, but I got to keep the streak going, so probably watch it here in the shop. See if I can get this thing up and running over here. It's a return for overpressure. Got it. All right, SpaceX doesn't have their coverage live yet, so I'm just gonna sit here and yeah, Loco, that's what other people in that's what some folks over in the Twitch chat said, dude. So yeah, that sounds about right. It seems like it's an overpressure bypass, as far as I can tell. I'm over on the other side of the truck. I'm just making sure I have all the bolts. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Two, four, six, 8, 9. There should be 9 on the transmission filter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. Yeah, we'll take a second here. Whoop. Let that drain anyway. The spring controls the magic flow. That's right. Are you doing flame trench tonight? Yes, Phil. Yes, I am. I got to finish this before that, though. I don't need a nice pile of transmission fluid sitting on my shop floor when I get back. This is my office, dude. If you guys don't know, this is my computer setup is in the back office. This garage has a furnished office attached to the back. That is the EJSA headquarters. So I'm using a gasket scraper. It's just a razor blade to open up the gasket, but I got to make sure that I don't get the gasket with the blade. You don't want to pinch it. Come on, baby. Don't cut the gasket. There we go. That should be enough. See last, SpaceX is online. I know, I have it up on the screen, dude. Thank you. There we go. That's the good stuff. If we can't get this to seal, I don't know what I'm gonna do. All right, so, ooh, it's got metal in it. There's metal inserts into this silicone gasket. Very nice. Very good. That's gonna go on here. And we'll leave that for a second. What is that? It's a gasket. All right, so there we go. There we go. I can do this from here, I think. Yeah, man. All right. This'll work. SpaceX. Pro Streamer Man. Oh, heck yeah. Can you guys hear the audio okay? Here, let's cut it in. Sweet. We got ourselves a rocket launch set up here. I'm probably gonna move this just a little bit this way so you guys are a little bit closer. Nice. We got ourselves a nice old streaming setup here. Here, let me switch you back to the transmission gasket for a second. Look at this. Look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me.
Okay, the pressing for stomach return.
Boop. Good enough. This will work. Will you just look at it? Yes. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Can you repair a truck? I don't know, can you? So we will get back to wrenching here in a second. We're gonna watch this rocket launch. I haven't missed a Falcon 9 launch on stream this year, which is, I mean, there's not many of those, but. So this is the Starlink 1212, I think is what this one is. Let me just check next space flight. Falcon 9 transmission replacement gas. Falcon 9 doesn't have a transmission. You silly chat. Starlink Group 1212. The booster flying today is booster serial number 1067 on its 25th flight. 25. 37-day turnaround. The payload is 12 Starlink V2 mini satellites, or not 12, there's 21 V2, 13 direct to cell, 8 normal V2 satellites total. Will you stream Flame Trench from the shop? I don't know. I could, I guess. Okay, the launch site here, that's Slick 40, Space Launch Complex 40, down in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Well, it's actually Cape Canaveral Space Force Base, if you want to be technical. This is the 6th launch of 2025. 5th mission of 2025 for SpaceX. And the 439th mission for SpaceX in total. Yeah, that fairing looks like it's been patched a couple of times. Here, I'm going to turn the heater off so I can hear the playback. Give me 1 second. There we go. Might be a little bit easier to hear things now. It's a lot quieter in here all of a sudden. So the 4 towers that are around the pad are lightning rods. You don't want lightning hitting your highly explosive rocket, carrying highly explosive propellants. Florida, there's a lot of lightning. So the technical term for that thing is the Okay. Technical term for that thing is the lightning arrestor system. It basically takes lightning and grounds it out away from the rocket. So electricity doesn't have the chance to jump to your multi-million-dollar vehicle right there. Not this. I'm talking about the Falcon, not that thing. That is not worth as much as a Falcon 9. Pants up. So once again, if you clicked on this stream looking for transmission repairs, yeah, I'm in my shop. I wanted to watch this rocket launch real quick. Probably about a 10-minute interruption. And then we get back to fixing this thing. Okay, Falcon 9 should go into startup now.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Told you. Ground gas closeout has already happened, indicating second stage liquid oxygen is full. Okay, launch director reports go. Pretty day down in Florida, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's right. T-minus 30 seconds.
T-minus 30 seconds.
I just said that. $20. 15.
T-minus 15.
10.
T-minus 10. 9. 8. 7.
Sound suppression water system is on.
5. 4. 3. 2.
Ignition.
1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon. Go Starlink.
We got a liftoff. Starlink 1212 on this Friday afternoon. We got Falcon 9.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Launching into the weekend. Sorry.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
All right, everything looks good there. Ragfear, 6-month resub. Thank you very much. Here in Australia, you drive a Falcon. Nice, mate. Nice. T plus 30 seconds. Vehicle's now doing its roll program. It executed a pitch over at T plus 20. Judging by the amount of roll that was induced on the vehicle, this looks like a southeast trajectory. That coastline is that you see on the screen.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Power telemetry nominal.
Is east-west. So, or the coastline is going north-south. The ocean is to the east, land is to the west. So we got a southeast trajectory here. You can see
Falcon is supersonic.
You can see Slick 41 right there, basically right by the flames, and then there's complex 39A and 39B on at the middle top of your screen. That's maximum dynamic pressure. It's peak aerodynamic load on the vehicle. T plus 1 minute, 20 seconds into the flight. First, Falcon 9 is now traveling at 2,200 kilometers an hour, 18 kilometers in altitude. The next call here should be for Merlin vacuum thermal conditioning. There you go. There it is. This is the 25th flight for Booster 1067 today. This Falcon 9 first stage has flown 24 times prior. Pretty awesome. Now, if you're keen-eyed here, you look at the plume that's up there. It's a little bit asymmetrical. There seems to be a gap on this side. That's because Falcon 9 is flying a little bit pitched up relative to its prograde velocity. Basically, The rocket is pitched up a little bit. SpaceX does that to squeeze a little bit more performance out of the first stage. Now, as we get towards main engine cutoff, you notice the plume gets more symmetrical because Falcon 9 is making sure that it's pointing in the right direction for what's about to happen here. This is staging. You're looking up the business end of the second stage there. They're going to use a pneumatic push rod, 4 of them, to push that thing away.
Stage separation confirmed.
Zing! No zing! Zing! No
And back
zing!
ignition.
Green flash, good upper stage ignition. Clockwork, baby. Clockwork. Nice, Jared. There you go. Beautiful view. You can see a good amount of the Floridian Peninsula there. Very nice. It would be radial out, Panta, yes. Stand by for fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There it is. T plus 3 minutes and 15 seconds into Starlink 1212's mission. First stage is traveling at 7,100 kilometers an hour, 102 kilometers in altitude. Still going up, by the way. Second stage is 8,500 kilometers an hour at 110 kilometer altitude. Now the first stage will coast a little while before it gets to the apogee of its ballistic arc, meaning the highest point. Yeah, beautiful. Oh,
Both
nice.
vehicles
logo.
are on a nominal trajectory.
Okay, guidance navigation guy at SpaceX calls good trajectories. I'm out of coffee. That's unacceptable. Yeah, a little cloudy. Look at the second stage. Look just above the nozzle. You see that big butt cloud up there? That's a gigantic snowstorm. And that snowstorm is coming my way. It's going up the northeast right now. Apparently it's snowing everywhere else in the U.S., like except here. Now those fairings that Falcon 9 did jettison, they are gonna reuse them. Those fairings actually flip over with they have compressed gas on them that I'll have the fairings flip over the 2 fairing halves, right? They call them clamshell fairings. They separate, and then the thrusters point them so the outside of the fairing, the aerodynamic part, is going into your reentry heating. Because fairings are absurdly light, the reentry heating is kind of minimal. It's called having a high coefficient of drag and a low ballistic coefficient. The running thing that I try to explain, like how I try to explain this is like if you're at the top of the Empire State Building and you have a piece of paper and a rock, right? And you drop them, which one is going to get to the ground first? Now, in an ideal environment, if they both have the same mass, they'll get to the ground at the same time. But the paper, we have the atmosphere in the way, so the paper is just going to, it's just basically going to go back and forth all the way to the ground. Meanwhile, the rock's just going to fall like a rock and hit the ground and explode. Those fairings work like the piece of paper. They're very, very light, so they just kind of glide forever. And because they're really light, because they have a low ballistic coefficient, reentry heating is basically minimized because it's the surface area of that thing is so ridiculously big, right, comparatively to the total mass of it, that you never actually go fast. It's basically a big break.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Here's the supersonic retropropulsion. This is my favorite part. Falcon 9 is now firing its engines to slow itself down in preparation for landing here. And it's also using the engine exhaust as a thermal medium to protect the rest of the rocket on the way down. It's basically using the rocket exhaust as a heat shield, which is why you see all that soot building up on the camera.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Use Fusion, Brandon. Fusion 360 will work. Okay, entry burn shutdown here.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Flight termination system on the second stage is safe. We should hear a call for terminal guidance on the second stage here momentarily. The next steps.
Both vehicles following a nominal trajectory.
Good call on GNC for both vehicles following their predicted paths. I don't know, NG. We'll see. Now, this is where the grid fins, those big waffle irons that are attached to the first stage, this is where they're really going to start doing some work. As Falcon 9 gets down closer to the surface, the atmosphere gets thicker. The atmospheric density goes up, right? So an aerodynamic control surface with more atmosphere is going to give you more effective
Stage 1 transonic.
control moment, is what it's called. So basically the grid fins are going to steer it as it gets down back to the place where we live. The grid fins are going to do work all the way up until the landing burn, which is about to happen right now. You should be able to see the drone ship under the left-hand grid fin there. It's about dead center. You can just barely see it.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Okay, now the grid fins are going to do work until you get to a velocity where the grid fins will not be able to move the air effectively anymore. And when that happens is right when landing legs deploy on Falcon 9.
Stage 1 landing leg deployed.
So watch, the grid fins lock into position, landing legs fold out, and we get a beautiful touchdown there.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
On just read the instructions. Perfect. Excellent. Dead center, 25 flights for booster 1067. Perfect. Beautiful. And we should get a staging velocity was a little bit high at second stage engine cutoff, 27,108. That's on the higher end. We usually see 27,072 or something like that. That was 27,108. A little bit higher, but yeah, no problem. All in a day's work. Killer. All right, Starlink 1212, keeping the streak alive. Keep that streak alive. Keep that streak alive. All right. Shall we get back to work? Fantastic coverage. Thank you, Eutychus. The deck deluge is awesome. Yep. They're trying to film cool the surface of the drone ship to make sure that the rocket engine doesn't melt the deck. Because rocket engines are abrasive. Basically, they shoot out gas at such high velocity that it can basically strip paint off anything, like a sandblaster almost.
Go at throttle up.
Same idea, but a sandblaster shoots rocks out at much lower velocity. This thing can do what, a rocket engine can do what a sandblaster can do with gas, that means that gas coming out of the rocket engine, I don't know if you guys knew this, it's moving pretty quickly. So the reason why they put those,
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Super Rat gifted a sub to Lucas, thank you. And Jax had a 8-month resub, thank you guys. The reason why they put those water jets on the deck of the drone ship is because, Falcon 9 was going down to land, and, you painted the deck of the drone ship. When it lands, it basically strips all the paint off, and then salt water splashes on it, and it rusts, right? The reason why those are there is to basically mitigate the energy, the heat energy from the rocket engine when it gets near the drone ship. If you take the heat energy out, basically when the rocket engine comes down, the gases hit the water instead, and the water absorbs all the heat and takes all the energy out of the gases so they don't strip the paint, right? So what that water does is it film cools the drone ship. It film cools the deck of the drone ship. There's a little bit of water. There's a puddle. Basically, it lands in a small puddle. And when Falcon 9 comes down and lands, it basically evaporates all that water for a split second. And the heat goes, instead of the heat energy hitting the deck of the drone ship, well, the hot gas hitting the deck of the drone ship, it hits the water instead. Water takes all the energy out of it in the form of heat, right? And there you go. You don't ruin the deck of your drone ship. All right, cool. I'm going to get back to work. So if you're just popping in, you're wondering, what are you doing, EJ? What's going on here? Or if you clicked on this stream and said, I thought you were replacing a transmission pan gasket. I am, but I also cover rocket launches. That's what I do. I like all mechanical things, like this thing. Yeah, like this thing here. Did you break it? No, not yet. Not yet. Here, if you look, I'm doing the... Here, hold up. Let me... Come on, computer. There we go. So, you're over... That camera's over there now. Cool. So, if you look down under there, there's a little bit of a mess. We have to fix that mess. I have the transmission filter and the transmission pan off of the transmission there. What you're looking at in the center of the screen with all the bolts that's nice and shiny is the bottom of the valve body for the transmission. Yeah, Jalopy. Yeah, we did. So now what we got to do is put a new filter back in this sucker. Did you break it? Don't worry, there's still time. No faith. You're really procrastinating putting that filter back in. Hey man, rocket launches, all right? Let's do it now. I got the spring. And I got the lifter for the spring, for the retainer. I got the gasket. We have all the bits down under there. I'm going. Let's go. Logo Texan, I never thought I'd live to say that watching a rocket launch would be procrastinating other work. That's just weird to me. But I mean, I get the gist of what you're saying, but that's just strange. That's just bizarre, as people would say around here. That's just bizarre, Chief. It's just freaking weird. Some huge freaking guy. But it was over. Hey, hey! I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Don't you understand that? The heck is wrong with you people? Okay, cool. All right, so let's get this sucker in here. Where's the spring that I just had in my hand? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I put it down here. I know I did. Everything else is down here. Oh. I swear if it's up here on the bench, I'm going to be pissed. Loco Texan, I'm blaming you. We need that spring. I just put it down there, but I don't see it down there, and that means I was probably lying on it. Yeah, okay, I was. All right, cool. All right, let's get her done. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is put the spring and the spring retainer, I guess, in there. All right, this goes up in here like this. Come on, baby. All right. Cool. Now we have to put this in the gasket. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pilot a bolt through the gasket and the filter. And that pilot bolt is going to be right where the spring retainer is on the filter. So I'm going to pilot this in there. Don't break the gasket, moron. Come on. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do here, we have one, and that screw is in there enough to hold that spring in place. Now I'm going to get the rest of the screws, and I'm just going to hand tighten them to make sure that all the holes here, like if you don't tighten them down all the way, leave that nice and loose before you get all the bolts in. Once all the bolts have caught a thread, then I'm sure there's a torque sequence for this. I'll just go around the horn like one, cross pattern, and we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm just hand
Oh,
tightening
oh,
everything.
oh, this is space. I'm in space.
I can't see who that was. I can't see. ARJ. What was that, 10? Dang, man. Thank you. ARJ gifted 10 subs. I appreciate you, buddy. I hope you appreciate me making a fool of myself with this. You know, I suffer. I suffer for your entertainment. Okay, come on, baby. You still want to make sure that you have a little bit of play here so you can get all the rest of the bolts in. And I don't think there's a torque spec for these bolts, so we'll use the German. We'll use the German torque spec for this. It's Guten tight. So, Guten tight. Yeah, we need to ask Adrian about the Guten tight and see if Guten tight is actually a spec. That's what I was told. Two more. Two more. Ein. Und zwei. Wunderbar. Okay. We caught all the threads. Okay. All right. Now, I need my 5/16. I need a 5/16 small socket here. I put it away because I was like, oh, I don't need this again. Turns out you do, idiot. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab that real quick. There we go. This is just for the, remember, one of these bolts is 3/8, the other ones are 5/16. Because raisins. That's fine. This is what I mean. If you just gotta. Oh yeah, we should go over here. Just snug it up. You don't want to. These things don't need to be torque crazy spec. Like if you feel like you're forcing it here, you're probably gonna break something. Take it from somebody that forced it here and made this project a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Okay. Okay. Now note that I'm going around the horn. Guys, you don't want to just start and go work your way around because then you run the risk of pinching a gasket. You don't want to do that. And then there's the potential of stuff getting past the filter in the transmission pan, which would be unacceptable. Okay. That's the one with the retainer spring behind it, right there. There we go. That's tight. Last one. Okay, now I'm just going to go around the horn with all the 5/16 bolts. We'll make sure they're snug. That's snug. That's snug enough. Good. Good. That one has a, don't drop it. That one has a little ways to go here. Good. 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 Okay. Let me get the 3/8 socket. And we'll tighten this last one. Okay, good. And now the main attraction. All right, I'm just gonna check chat real quick before we go any further. Just making sure I'm not screwing up too bad. How you go back through and torque them. Booster 12, hey pal, hooked on your streams, keep up the great work. Did you get that rogue bolt sorted? Yep, at the top of your screen is one of the bolts that was broken off. You can see the thread is good. Now. Yeah, FaZe, I covered it. Quick Google search said 8 foot-pounds for the filter bolts. Oh, all right. I mean, we can, if we want to do this perfect, let's do it perfect. I'll get the torque wrench out. Guy, you want to make sure, check the filter bolts. You said 6 foot-pounds? Geez, I don't think I have a torque wrench that goes that low. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, there we go. He said 8, okay. 10, 9, 8. Okay, cool. All right. Wait, I thought we were taking the engine out. No. All right, I will use the torque wrench here. I need a 3/8. I need a 3/8 drive. I don't have a 3/8 small one. I only have 3/8 deep. Deep. Okay, that'll work. And then I need 5/16, which is down there already. Cool. Was that torque for the cover or the filter? Well, Goss said it was for the filter bolts. 8 foot-pounds sounds too much for the filter. I mean, dude, they're snug. It ain't going nowhere. I mean, I have to torque the pan bolts. And I believe, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's 12, the camera's over there. I believe it's 12 foot-pounds. So, let me set this. This is a 79 C4 Ford transmission. So that would be 10, 11, 12. Don't jump to 12, work your way up from 8. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, she's set at 8 right now. All right. Guten Tag. Yeah, here, take a look. So let me unlock this. You guys want to see how the torque wrench is set. So that's at 10, right? So 9.5, 9, 8.5, 8. Cool. Set. How did you get the broke bolts out? We pulled the transmission and drilled them out. Okay. All right. Moment of truth. So we have our silicon gasket, which should be a lot nicer. And then we have our pan. So let's hope and pray. Okay, so same thing here. We want to pilot some of these bolts and just keep it nice and loose. Just make sure these things catch the thread. Okay, that's one. This gasket is a lot thicker. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a problem or not, but see, once again, you want this loose so you can move it around and get at all the threads. Okay, two. That one caught real easy, actually. That's three. Now, over here, I want to use one of my substitutes. I'll use that on a through bolt. These are flanged bolts. So I have a grade 5 with a washer here to make up for the flange bolt with my replacement bolts, because there's two. There's 11 bolts total. I broke 2. So when I say they're flanged, what I mean is that if you look at the bolt up close, there's a lip on the bottom side where the threads are. See that? Oh, we're on the wrong camera. Good thing I looked. Good thing I looked. Here, take a look. You can see it that way. See, this side there's a little lip. See what I'm talking about? That's a flanged bolt instead of a regular bolt. Okay. He didn't switch the cam. There's no way we'll know if he did it properly. I'm just, this is all, these bolts aren't tight or anything. Yeah, I gotta remember to change the stupid camera all the time. I set up all these beautiful camera shots, but you can see all these are already in. So we just gotta go around the horn. And what I was saying before is that these are like, so these aren't tight at all, because we got to torque them. It's just enough to be able to move this around so you can get the rest of the bolts in. That's all. So, I want a regular, actually this is the one that's helicoiled right here. So I have a grade 5 bolt with a washer to make up for the flange. See, this bolt doesn't have a flange on it. See what I'm talking about? No flange. So I have a washer there to make up for it. That should do the same thing. Okay, and I'd like to remind you, I can see chat from this angle, so if I'm screwing up, just tag me or something. I can see it highlighted in the chat. I can see it over there. See it from underneath the truck. I put it on the big screen so I could see it. Okay, that's fine. This one is a pain because the dipstick tube is over here. Actually, all these front ones are a pain. Because the old transmission cross members here. Probably should have just ground that thing out when we had this all out, but whatever. Okay, that one actually is a little tight. I don't want to go too crazy here because we still have to pilot a couple more bolts. Piloting just means that the bolt is in there and it's not tightened down. It's just in there enough so it'll catch a couple of threads. These last two are always the real pains in the butt to get at. I dropped it. Oh, there's a channel in there. That's great. Just trying to find the thread. There it is. Got it. It's going to be tough torquing these ones, but we can do it. Okay. Last one. And I immediately dropped that into a puddle of transmission fluid in the channel there. That's great. You know, just tightening bolts when your hands are covered in lubricant. Real fun. Really want to make sure you don't cross thread these things. Okay, that's good. Like I said, you'll know if you're cross-threading it because it won't feel right. It'll try to fight you after 1 or 2 turns into the hole. You just go home. It's your home. Should be able to, if it's not cross-threaded, you should be able to get like 3 or 4 really nice turns out of it before it starts tightening, or however long the bolt is. Depends on length too, I guess. So I'm going to leave the, you know what, I'm going to leave the transmission dipstick tube out while we torque these bolts down because it'll allow me to get at that one a little bit better. All right. Cool. Let's make sure the gasket is seated. All right. I'm going to go check chat real quick. I didn't screw up anything, did I? Machine God has decided there will be lube. Space Pope for the gasket fund with a $50 super chat. Yo, thanks, man. You gonna be around for the trench today? I would recheck those 2 bolts after a while just in case. Probably a good idea. My winter car, that's right. Yeah? All right, man. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Let's hope this stops the bleeding. Yep. All right, so let me get the torque wrench. I'll show you guys where we're at. So, who soaked my ratchet in transmission fluid? That's weird. I will send my blessings for the trench. All right, excellent. It's more my eternal truck. Yeah, you ain't kidding. All right, so I know that the factory spec, I had it on a window somewhere in the mountains of tabs that I have open on this computer. I know that it's what's the word? Sorry, I blanked for a second. I gotta go look up the torque spec again. All right, here we go. Oil pan to case is 12 to 16 is what it's calling for. It's calling for 12 to 16. 16? 16 might be a lot. Bet your ratchet shifts better now. Yeah. I don't know about 16. 16 seems like a lot for these bolts. I'm gonna go 12. We'll torque them in sequence. Nice 4-pound gap. Yeah, right. Meet it in the middle at 14. Okay. So we're at 10 right now. So we're going to go unlock it first. That's 10 and a half. That's 11. That's 11 and a half foot-pounds. That's 12. 12 and a half. 13. 13 and a half. 14. Yeah. You want to work your way up? We can do it that way. We'll snug it to 8 first if you want. Or we could do 7. Halfway there, and then snug it the rest of the way. Or start at 10. I mean, we're not talking, this is not a lot, dude. Like, I'll back it out to, so that's at 10. 9 and a half, 9, 8 and a half. We'll go to 8. We'll go 8 to 14. That'll work. Yeah, fish, exactly. They're all hand tight right now, but we can do it this way. That's fine. Some of them might be past 8. You know what? I'm making a game time decision. Let's go 10 to 14. 10 to 14 is fine. That'll work. Cool. Switch the cameras, right? Switch the cameras. There we go. So you got to torque these dang things in sequence. We got to start on one side. Swap to the other side, go back, go forward, go up, go down, go left, right, A, B, start. Okay, so let's get the deep socket here. Cool. All right, we will start at the back. So we're set to 10 foot-pounds. And we should hear a nice click when this thing is at 10. Shouldn't be much further. Let me just double check. Yeah, we're at 10. Okay. Come on. That's too tight. There's no freaking way. It's starting to pinch the gasket. Are we sure we're on 10 foot-pounds? Yeah, we are. I don't like that. I don't like how tight that is. Let's go over here. Or we should go to the other side. Guys, that doesn't feel like 10 foot-pounds. That feels a lot heavier. But maybe I'll get the ratchet and just get these things snug. No, maybe not the ratchet. I'll hand ratchet this stuff. That didn't seem right. It doesn't, it's a lot. That was a lot of torque remember, I'm like deathly afraid of these bolts breaking because they did when I did this before. Don't drop it. You don't want to go too much because then you pinch the gasket and then you're going to have a bad day if you pinch the gasket because it's not going to work. That one needs a regular socket. The deep socket's having trouble getting in there. Okay. I just don't want to pinch this thing. Nice and easy. Come on. Okay. There's 2 bolts up front here. And as much as I don't like to do this, I'm going to have to torque these things with the U-joint. Really don't want to do that, but yeah, that one was loose. All right, those are all snug, like really snug. Guys, I don't like how much this torque wrench started to pinch that gasket though, you know. What is he doing? I'm tightening the bolts. You sure you're at 10 and not 100? Yeah, dude, I'm very sure. Look. I know it's hard to see. 10 is right there. And I am set to foot-pounds. It's set to 10 foot-pounds, dude, yeah. No, she's there. Can you get the extension bar through that hole in the cross member? Yeah, yeah. You're even seeing 8. 8 seems right, guys, based off of what I felt right there. 8 seems correct. I'm going to torque to 8, dude. Yeah, exactly, Fish. No, this wrench is adjusted. I used it to torque other things the other day. I know this one's good, or at least I'm pretty sure. I just think it's, you know what it is, Alex? It's probably with the silicone gasket. It's probably calling for 16 foot, like 12 to 16 with a cork gasket, not a silicone gasket. Because you got to pinch the cork to get it to seal, right? You don't want to pinch the silicone gasket because then it'll tear, right? So I'm going to say 8 with the silicone gasket. And yeah, we'll call it then. What's the range on this wrench? 10 to 70, 3/8 inch drive torque wrench. So I'm going to do that way. We'll set it to 8, and it is set to 8. Good. And we'll go from there. Okay. It's going to be a rot. The cuttlefish. All right, let's see this back one. Yep, it ticked right away. Yep, that one's ticked. All right, so let's go over here. Come on. It didn't tick, but that's tight enough for my tastes. What the frick, man? There we go. She ticked. All right, cool. Now I got to get up front. Got to get one up front, and there's gonna be a little bit of parasitic loss through this U joint here, the universal socket, or the universal adapter. But it should be all right. Okay, she's driving. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We'll try to see if we can move to a different front one that I can get a better angle at. There we go. I got a good angle at this thing. There we go. That one's ticked. Okay, so I got that one, I got that one, I got that one, and I got that one. Can we fit through there? Yeah, we can. Can that get at a bolt? Oh, yeah, all right. Let's try this. No, it's not necessarily the right angle, but I can get a much better angle with the U joint this way, but we might not have enough room. I probably don't. It's all right. I'm going to torque up those front ones now, see if I can get at a good angle. It's just hard holding the damn torque wrench up. Come on, don't bind. Come on. U-joint came out. Yeah, this, you know what, this angle's better. Going this way from the cross member. Come on. You don't, with the U-joint, you don't want to hit it at too much of an angle. You hit it up at too much of an angle, the U-joint socket binds up. There, I got a tick out of it. It wasn't very audible because I was going very slow. Okay, those two up front are good. All right, so I got that one, I got that one, I got that one, I got the two at the front. We have this one. So I don't need the U-joint anymore, so take that off. And we'll get at the rest of these guys here. Still set. Yeah, we moved it a little bit, that's fine. Come on, baby. There we go. I got a tick. Let's get this last one in the back here. Got a tick. Got a tick. Because it's such a low torque, you really have to listen for the tick. You don't hear it. The torque wrench will make a clicking sound. Not like the ratchet clicking noise. It'll make a different noise when you're torqued. But there we go. Because that was so low, because we're only at like 8 foot-pounds of torque, it's not a lot. It's hard to hear it. Wait a minute. Didn't get it that time. We're still at 8? Yeah, we are. Okay. Looks like we squished the gasket a little bit, man. But I'll tell you what, it ain't leaking. All right. But it definitely squished this thing a little bit. It's squished out in certain spots, but okay. I got that one. Did I get this one? No, I didn't get that one. At least I don't think. I'll just go around the horn here, make sure that everything is tight. We'll just start here and go around. Got a click. Got a click. Got a click. Got a click. Click, 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 click. All right. I got to get 1, 2, 3. Now let's just, I'm going to go over here, get these back ones. Got a click. Got a click. Got a click. It was very, very low with that one. Just, there we go. Got a good one. Got a click there. Now, 3 bolts left. Once again, I'm torquing this to 8 because we're using a different gasket than what the factory recommended. The factory recommends cork. The factory from the 70s, I might add. A cork gasket. We're not using that. Cork gaskets suck. But that's all they had at the time.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Thank you for the resub or sub. Appreciate you. Okay, got a click there. 2 bolts. 2 bolts left. Only 2. Utah, give me 2. Hey, that was Porter. Porter. With the resub. All right. All right, last 2 bolts. Oh, don't, nope, no, I didn't break it. I didn't break it. It was just the U-joint slipping off. We're losing the lights, the batteries on my lights are going. Okay, there was a click there. Come on. Got it. Okay. We're good. Oh, we didn't break anything. We didn't break it. Yes. Oh. We didn't break anything. Is there a way to pressure test the gasket? So what is the gasket doing now? It's sealing things. What torque does the manufacturer of the gasket recommend? Doesn't say. Actually, that's trash. I'm gonna throw that away. I'm gonna stick with 8. 8, like guys, I'll be honest with you, 8 feels right. That feels correct. It doesn't feel bad. That feels tight enough. And that gasket's really starting to get pinched. Turbo where? Turbo. Might have to retorque it when it's warm. Yeah, Lisa, I'll probably check it again. Clean the crossmember off so you can tell if it's leaking. Yeah, good call. Let me change the camera. I have to tighten the dipstick tube, and then to pressure test it, I'll pour a quart in. A quart should be enough to see if this thing decides to hate us or not. Sorry about, it's a little dark under here now because the light's gone out. All my portable lights ran out of batteries. Okay. Now, let me start the thread on the dipstick tube and go from there. Okay. Let me get the wrench. Just gonna snug that thing in. There's no other way to do this except with a wrench. So there's an O-ring that the dipstick tube seats on here to make sure that it seals. Let me turn the heater off. It's starting to get cold in here again. Stupid winter. Damn you seasons. We just got to get this snug. We don't need to go crazy. So I'm tightening down the dipstick tube here. There we go. I got the end of the thread. Okay, it's seated. All right. Okay, we're all clean down here. We're all clean here now. How are you? Who is this? What's your operating number? Boring conversation anyway. The channel on top of the cross member too. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, RC, I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you. All right, I'm gonna move my catch pan back because this is gonna slop everywhere. Yep, there it is. Yeah, there was a lot. It's going to be a rot. What about on the other side? Anything? Yeah, there's a little bit. Not as much as the back, though. Do you want the cuttlefish? Or cuttlefish and asparagus? Or the vanilla pudding? Vanilla pudding! Vanilla pudding! Okay, cuttlefish it is. No! Okay, RC, she's nice and clean. All right. fish and asparagus. The metal in the gasket, what's its function? Clamping force. Well, so when are we sending this to space? Yes. I mean, I'd do it, but only if I could get it back. I would send this to space on Starship with a banana in the driver's seat. Seat buckled up. Only if Starship could bring it back. That would be cool. You ever use a rolled salt neutralizer to clean under a car? Negative. Doesn't work. Sawyer, just get a hose. Make sure your pipe isn't frozen. Get a hose and just wash the underside of your truck if they're salting the roads. Yeah, so you don't know nothing about that. The best thing for a car in the winter if they salt the roads is don't drive it on the road. Find something else. You guys are getting this weird weather down south. We have to introduce you to this concept called a winter beater. Buy a piece of junk, drive that around in the winter. Something no one cares about. Like a Camry or whatever. Get them for short money. Drive that in the winter so you don't mess up your cool stuff. Not the banana in the tailpipe. I can't. There's two tailpipes. You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Hey, Bob. What's up, man? Oh, excuse me. Oh, good evening, old Bean. How are you? Fancy a drink? Go down to the pub. We got one of those sprayers that spray up with a pressure washer. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Shall we? Here we go. I have 8 quarts of Type F. Oh, positively stupendous, old chap. Oh, nice, old boy. Very good. Let's dance. All right, I'm going to pour, I'll pour a quart in. I'll pour a quart in, and I'll keep this camera so you guys can see. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I also have the other camera too. Oh, because all my lights don't work, it's extremely difficult to see that. Nice. We'll use that one. I'm trying to think if I have another light. All the lights ran out of batteries. So we can see it run out. Perfect. All right. Cloudtrick, I'm from Sweden. There are cars with undercarriage treatment that will slow rust, but yeah, hose it. Yep. Regardless of any leaks, this truck's got drip. Okay. Okay. All right. No hat, France for real or something. That's what the kids say, right? Okay, so this is an old type of transmission. Old type of transmission needs older type of transmission fluid. This is Type F that I'm using here. That's what was in it before. This is Type F. Don't mix transmission fluids. Don't put Dex 3 with Type F. That breaks things. So there was Type F in this before. There's Type F in this before, and now there's going to be Type F in it again. Just flip it over. Yeah, okay. It's not a deep pan, Jason. It's the stock pan. I hammered the pan flange back into place with a hammer and dolly. All right. How the balls am I going to get to that? Okay. F for Fram. I have 4 quarts of Fram Type F and 4 quarts of O'Reilly's Type F, which is because they didn't have enough Type F. There was not enough Fs. We need more Fs. More Fs in the chat for the right transmission fluid. All right, let me get my funnel. I gotta find a nice funnel that can bend. I have lots of funnels because someone in chat spited me by sending me a plethora of funnels one time to my P.O. box. Geek, I'm looking at you. Where's my bendy funnel, dang it? Where's my dang old bendy funnel? Hello? Is Titan here?
Titan is here.
Titan and Bree?
Yes.
Very nice.
The transmission.
Well, I put the new gasket in and the new filter. It's not leaking.
Cool.
Yet. We're about to find out.
Oh, did you turn it on?
No, I have to fill it up first.
Well, I have some doggo news for you.
You have dog news.
I put his harness on and I use this leash, which is what we've done in training class.
Yeah.
And he probably did a good third of that walk at my heel without me having to ask.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
you know, might be something to continue doing.
Okay. Hi,
I
Titan.
was just so proud of him, we had to come tell you.
All right.
Hey, bud, you want to go inside now? Are you cold?
How warm is it in here compared to outside?
Very.
Yeah, good. Heater doing work.
I'm going to make pesto fettuccine today.
Pesto fettuccine.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, buddy, you ready?
Cool. All right, Bree. See ya.
See ya.
Love you.
Love you too.
Not you, Chad. I'm talking to her. All right. I got a funnel-ish. Okay. So how do we want to do this? You guys want to see me do the pour and then laugh at me when I miss? Or do you want to look underneath the truck? Nah, Space Pope, you're all right. We can see you miss from underneath the truck. Good point. Okay. There you go. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. Do you need more funnels? I don't think so. So my problem here is that I clean the shop, and when I clean the shop, I put all the funnels in a place. They're all together, except for this one, right? The one that I found. They're all together somewhere, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to put all my funnels here. That way, all my funnels are in one spot, and I will never lose them. I have no idea where that spot was. Yeah, I don't remember. So around here, there's a box of funnels somewhere, and I have no idea where that is. So, you know, what? Just shop things. Just shop things. It's fine. It's just shop things. Worst comes to worst, this funnel works. It's just going to be a little bit of a weird pour, but all right, whatever. Yeah, okay, it's just shop things. It happens. Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to get up on the bucket. And dipstick is out. The funnel is in. And all right, we're going to start pouring. We need to put 8 quarts in this thing. Blub, 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 blub. Anything? Well, actually, you know what? I probably should have said this before I poured it, but if there's a leak, tag me. Tag at EJSA if you see a leak. Tag me 3 times. EJ! It's everywhere! Shut up. Should we punk him? It should be 3 before you get to the gasket. I didn't miss. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're good. All right. Quart number 2 is coming at you. Okay. Mr. Bucket. Bloop. The balls come out of my top. The game's Mr. Bucket. Look out, the balls pop out of his mouth. Mr. Bucket. Buckets of fun. Okay, that's 2. Number 3 coming in. Blub, 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 blub. Okay, that's 3. Anything? I don't see anybody tagging me. You should get a lift. Yeah, Dave, doing this NSF stuff might put me, doing Flame Trench, because that's a paid gig, might put me into a point where I have enough to do that. Do it sooner rather than later. All right, quart number 4. Keep going, you'll know. Yep. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a rot. Actually, it's nice with the camera. I can see the playback, so I can see underneath the truck as I'm pouring. Okay, number 4, in. Hold on, truck. I believe in you. Coyote. No, but that's never not going to be funny. Alert! There are no leaks. I do not leak. You leak. I would settle for a pad to work on. A garage is dreamland. Dude. Can't see me. I don't want anybody to be confused, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't walk into the shop every day and go, damn, nice, nice. Not only do we have a pad, we've got an insulated shop where my office is. This is dreamland, baby. That's the dream. I'm dreaming about my own shop since I was like 19. Can I tell you about the Gear Wars? Ball in a cup. Yep. All right. Number 5 and 6. Here we go. I mean, guys, I think if this gasket wasn't working, we would have seen it drip by now, yeah? Not to jinx myself, but get a CNC machine. Let's start at a mill and a lathe and see what happens. Okay, that's number 5. If it's going to leak, it's going to be when the fluid's at temperature. Yep. I think that depends on how many quarts the pan holds. It's a stock pan, so I think it's 2 to 3. It's 2 quarts, so. All right, that's number 5. Let's keep going. I don't see anything under there. I'm just going to take a peek. Nope. It's dry. Everywhere is dry. Okay, all right. Number 6. Oh. She's making a noise. I don't know what that noise is. I've never heard that before. Stop leaking. Oh, what the balls did that come out of? Oh, maybe we overfilled it. Stop, stop, stop it. Where did this come out? Oh, it came out of the vent. Guys, it came out of the vent tube. We're overfilled. So that means there was still a lot more residual left in there, or we haven't turned the transmission on. We got to turn the transmission on so it pumps. Yeah, guys, that came out of the vent tube. So the transmission has a breather way up at the top, and because look, it's all over the transmission pan. The breather is up here. It's up there. So we're filled. But what happens is that the transmission is primed, but we haven't filled up all the valve body, right? We haven't filled up the valve body with ATF, so it's going to go down again. Oh, this stuff smells amazingly bad. Okay, well that means she's full, which is not bad. What did it take? 6 quarts? That was number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5.5. Yeah, we also got to fill up the torque converter. Yeah, we got to run the pump. In the race car, we would just overfill it and let it puke over until, yeah, all right. So, yeah, it's leaking from the breather. Sorry, guys, I had lights, but the lights ran out of batteries. All right, let me just put the dipstick in there. I'm going to put the dipstick in there. I want to see what it says, just out of curiosity. This is absolutely a false reading, though, because once again, you got to prime, the valve body needs to be primed, and you need to get the fluid into the torque converter. The transmission pumps fluid through the, it pumps fluid through the input shaft of the transmission into the fluid coupling, which is a torque converter, and that's probably not primed at all. The only way you're going to get that primed is if you, the only way you're going to get it primed is if you start it, and we got a #1 victory, Roy. We got to do that. I just want to see what this says, though. Yeah, it says it's way full. Okay. All right. So we got to start it now. It doesn't have any exhaust on it. Yeah, it's running open headers right now, so this is going to be loud. Yeah, exactly, Jalopy. Overfill doesn't mean nothing. I did a KSP2 video trying to speak broken English. Guess it's not bad training. Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is probably going to be loud. What's the capacity? 8 quarts, and we're at 5.5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jack up the rear axle and get the back of the truck on jack stands like the front of the truck is, so the wheels can spin, because we got to put it in drive, we got to put it in reverse. And I definitely don't want to drive this thing risking the transmission, so I got to jack the back of the car up here. So I have 6-ton jack stands here that we'll put underneath the wheels, because right now the back wheels are on dollies. And once again, the exhaust is off on this thing. Yeah, crack the door too. Yeah, you don't want to asphyxiate myself on stream. All right. Trying to think of a good way to do this. I mean, dude, we got to start it with open headers. This thing's going to sound mint. But, yeah, we definitely got to be careful. How did the gasket replacement go? Well, the transmission has at least 5.5 quarts in it, and I don't see anything leaking. I feel like you're attempting fate doing all this before a big trip. What do you mean? I'm not driving this. We're not driving this to Texas. I'm flying. I'm just going to take the plane. It's too short notice to do this. Plus, putting 4,000 miles on this truck right now, I don't think it's ready to do that. It's close, but it ain't ready. I have the tailgate down on the truck. Okay. Here we go. Going up. Hey, Beavis, look. I'm jacking it. Okay. It should be good enough. Okay, coming down. Okay. There we go. Supposed to only do that on OnlyFans. Well, that's how I was doing it behind the truck. Is that the truck that they were jacking up in on the back? Never end a sentence in a preposition. You're a representative of Uncle Sam. Well, I'll be a monkey's bare butt uncle. Okay, so now I'm taking the negative, battery negative, putting it on the battery. Is it rear-wheel drive or 4x4? I'm from the UK. Booster, this is, in American speak, this is a 4x2. 4x2 when it comes to pickup trucks, rear-wheel drive. Cool car, thank you. Pull the dollies, yeah. Yeah, good call. You know what's pathetic? I'm out of breath from doing that. It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. It should probably not be like that. Did we disconnect the battery to do the trans-pan gasket? I had the battery disconnected when I had the transmission out of the car. I forget. I think I don't remember why I did it. I just do it. Oh, that's why. I had to take the starter motor out. That's why I did that. I had to take the starter motor out to take the transmission out. And with the starter motor, if your ignition is, if you're in the switched 12 position on the ignition and you go to pull the starter motor and you ground it out, the starter motor will turn on. That's why I did it. Okay. All right. let's do this. I'm gonna switch you guys back to the underside here. Oh, I gotta open the garage too, just a little bit. I'm gonna put my coat on because all the heat is gonna go outside now, and that's a shame. But what are you gonna do? Double check everything. I know the bolts are torqued. They're good to go. Obviously, the dipstick tube is in, right? The dipstick tube is in. It would be pissing everywhere if that wasn't tight. The battery was disconnected. Starter motor, I torqued those bolts back. This starter motor has a little bit of a weird clearance. It's going to make a weird noise when it starts. Other than that, I think we should be good. Maybe put the stream on your cell phone. Well, I could see from the driver's seat this camera on my screen. Yeah, fluid's in, Electron. We'll let me crack the garage door a little bit and we'll go. All right. Let me just make sure we got power. Okay, we got power. Does it crank? Oh. Hey, you know what would be a good idea? You know what would be a really good idea? Hooking up the shifter. Yeah, that would be a good idea. The neutral safety switch that I wired up just saved my bacon. That means we would have started it in drive. That would have ended real good. Okay, the board is currently red. We are no go for engine start. Repeat, no go. Board is red. I'm gonna move this out of here so I have a little bit more space because we haven't used this camera today, even though I spent the time to hook it up. Okay. Wet dress rehearsal has started for Starship and flight closures are out. Nice, Trey. Cool beans. All right, what time is this? 3:45. All right, I got 45 minutes. We got 45 minutes to get this done. So first thing I'm gonna do, set the shifter into the park position, and then we'll hook up the linkage accordingly. Call it failing forward. Yeah. No, it's a good idea. All right, got my needle nose for the cotter pin. Cool. All right, so can you guys see right here? Right here is your shift linkage. This linkage can move back and forth and it picks up on this lever right here. So this is cotter pin so it doesn't fly out. So So now we put that in there. And then we take the cotter pin and we put the cotter pin through the hole. This cotter pin is brand new. I usually don't reuse them. Okay. just twist the cotter pin around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Okay. All right, cool. Let's let me just go up there and make sure that the linkage is working. All right, you guys tell me if that lever is moving back and forth, okay? So we're in park right now. That's reverse, neutral, drive, 2. Oh. All good? Okay, so we're in park, neutral, reverse, drive, 2, low. I'm just gonna row through it a couple of times just to make sure that we're good. Okay, she's in park. All right. Okay, so now the neutral safety switch should work. So I'm gonna open the garage door again. So you guys clue me in. Do we want reverse? Do we want park? What do we do? Do we let it, we gotta prime it, right? Close the office door, open garage door. Oh, neutral. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Neutral will engage the pumps, right? Dude, transmissions are freaking black magic to me. I got to learn more about them. Run through all the gears and then check the dipstick. All right. I'll start it in neutral. So it's in park right now. That's reverse. That's neutral. Okay. Ready? We are go for main engine start. We have power, no fires yet. Okay, let's do this. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Go for crank. Uh-oh. Nothing. Safety switch cut out again. Oh, balls. Don't do this to me. Hang on, let me put it in park. Let me see if we can get crank. Yep, okay, so we got crank. Hold on. 3 pumps on the gas. It's in park, guys. I'll shift it into neutral. I got to adjust the shifter. It's really difficult to tell where if it's in park, reverse, or neutral, but come on, baby. Let me pull the choke. Wow, that's loud. Whoa, that's loud. Come on, baby. Okay, we got fire. The door is open, guys. Don't worry. That's some race car stuff right there, man. Yeah, I'm gonna open up the door completely because this thing is spewing CO2. Also, I'm putting in hearing protection. That's really loud. You know what? I can't find that. Whatever. We'll deal with it. Ready? There we go. Okay. We're going into neutral. She's in neutral. No, she's not. Hold on. The drive shaft's moving. I'm putting the e-brake on. I see it. I see it. I see it. That's park. So, one tick back. That's reverse. What the hell? Where's neutral? Okay, there's drive. What's that one? It's the shifter linkage, guys. It's a little messed up. I'm putting the brake on. Okay, I'm gonna check the fluid.
Discovery, going throttle up.
Sounds good. Joe Simbawan. All right, I'm gonna check the fluid here. Sounds mean with the heads off. You could smell the garage? Yeah, baby. It's a little low. Why is there a town named Sandwich in Massachusetts? Sandwich is named after an English town, dude. Torque converter's probably full now. So I have true duals. So basically out of the header, out of the shorty head, straight back, flow monster muffler, and then dump before the rear axle. That's what the exhaust is. Some nice little blue flame out of the exhaust. All right. Sounds almost like a GT40. Your mic is maxing a little bit. It's almost like it's loud in here. Did you make the exhaust? Yes, I did. It's open headers. So Seacracken, if you look at the far left, look at the far left of your screen. You see that golden cylinder? That's the starter motor. You see the blue flame coming out there? That's the exhaust. It's open. Don't forget your light under there. Yeah, it's all right. Yep, nowhere near done. I have to put the exhaust back on, but that's okay. Floor it? No, I'm good. All right, call Cleater. All right, what do you think? Think we should put those last quarts in, see if she starts puking? Okay, so when big turbo? Yes, then a burnout. Add and check. Got it. All right, I'm gonna cut it. We'll shut it off for a second. Sounds good. Sounds real good, actually. That sounds great. All right. Where's the funnel? Chat, where'd you put the funnel? Where'd you put the funnel? Where'd it go? What? Look up. How low was it? Real low. Just loco was like a drop on the. It was just a little drop on the bottom of the dipstick. So that tells me that we primed the torque converter there, which is great. Which means the additional couple of quarts here should not overflow. And yeah, we should be good. I just got to find my funnel that I just had in my hand a second ago. Damn it. I took it out. And dude, seriously, where could this thing have gone? It could not have gone far. Behind the truck? There is a funnel here. It's not the funnel I was using, though. Outmians, they come here, they no buy what nobody buys. Come here, mess up. I found it! Ha-ha, all right. It was on the ground. It's a good place for it. I'm just going to clean it real quick because I don't like crap getting in here. The funnel is right where you put it. Hope that helps. Ah, yeah. Sorry, you took it? Damn it, man. All right. She's clean. All right, let's, so we were at 5.5 quarts. Let's see, pull that dipstick again. Yeah, the dipstick is reading just a little bit, a smidge of transmission fluid on the very bottom of the stick. So let's resume quart 6 pour here. I'll switch you guys to the bottom camera. The funnel knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. All right, here we go. Resuming quart 6 pour. definitely not overflowing. I can hear it. Drink up, little buddy. Okay, let's go get number 7. So that was 6. Help me find the funnel fish. Yeah. Okay, I got the last 2 quarts. Do you have the right funnel for the job? You know, I know a guy, Geek. I actually do. You know, I know a guy. He's pretty cool. Kind of a weirdo, though. He gave me a lot of funnels. All right, number 7 going in. Yeah, see, we primed the torque converter for sure. Okay, number 7, it drank it. Be sure it's running when you check the level. Yeah, of course, of course. What did Jeff say to Neil when he was making jokes? Stop being a funnel.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okay. Tessa, 104-month resub. Fastest sub-anniversary since 71. Okay. All right. Okay, number 8 going in. Sounds like something's filling up. I can hear the breather, but it's not displacing fluid. I can hear the breather going like we're filling stuff up with air. Or displacing the air with the transmission fluid, which is a good noise. The noise that we heard before, that's not a good noise. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. All right, let me check it. It's a C4 transmission. Yep. I don't see anything leaking out here, which is a great sign. All right, I'm putting the dipstick back in. I know this is not going to give me the right reading, dude. It's not going to be exactly right because we have to start it again. But let me look. Yeah, it's reading all the way up the dipstick. So, all right, we got to start her again. Fish that dipstick back in there. I'm putting the funnel on my catch pan this time. Okay. Yeah, that's what happened, Stuart. Are you cold yet? Yeah, a little bit. Okay. We are go for main engine start. Truck is in park. We're switched to 12. Stand by for ignition. Man, that thing started right up. It's not a diesel, it's a 302. I'm rowing through the gears. That was park. That was park again. That's neutral. I know, I see it spinning. It's on stands, guys. It's not going anywhere, don't worry. Okay, Willie. Okay, we're in the truck. I'm putting her in park. She's in park. Brakes on. Into reverse. She's loaded up. That's reverse. I gotta adjust my rear brakes. Okay. That was reverse, and that's park. Let me check it. Checking the dipstick. No, Shadowman, I haven't done that yet. All right, let me check this. Bingo. Perfect. It's right there. Just a little bit above the add area. It's in the nominal. Right there. Actually, she's right around there. That's good. That's perfect. Taste test. Fresh. Fresh. Yeah. Type F. Don't do that. Ever. Ever. Yes, Shug, for sure. Cherry or strawberry? A little strawberry. It might even be the raspberry. Here, she leaking? No, Tessa, it was right on the, it was just above. So there's like a spot that's in the nominal. It was just above the nominal. It was good. It was good. Clean tray, place under, before Boca Chica. Yep. Right in the nominal. Okay. All right. Just this once. Just once. Ready? Okay, we're not doing that again. All right, that's enough. Okay, that's it. We're not doing that again, but that was pretty sick. You see those flames? Thing was sweet. Nothing's on fire under there, is it? It smells like burning. No, we're good. Flow separation? No, that's just exhaust. Power and telemetry, nominal. Yep. So we're going to ride this to Boca on Monday. I would love to do that. This truck is in no condition to do it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely rich. I got to tweak the carburetor. Yeah. Yeah, also it's cold, guys, so yeah, actually it's pretty good. You also have no exhaust, cold and no back pressure. Yep, yep. Okay. You ride that to Boca, I'll meet you in the dune buggy. Dude, you know what, Loco? This thing is almost at the point where I'd be okay, I'd be fine with attempting to drive it. I would want two things, and this is mostly because I'm a wimp. One, I'd want to look over everything again just to be absolutely sure, which is just being smart. Two is the wimp part. I would want a convoy. I would want someone with me. Someone towing a trailer just in case. You know? Like, you know, get another truck. Like have Ernok in the 87 or something. Just to be sure. You know? That's a long trip. Here to Boca is 33 hours, 34 hours, something like that. And, you know, with pit stops, probably a day and a half. 2 days, maybe. Does the AC work? Does the AC work? Yes. Yes, it works. Yeah, it works. Wish could come convoy in the Defender. We'll do that one of these days. Probably need some new tires. Those are pretty old. They're not petrified at all, Tessa. These tires are fine. They got plenty of tread on them. As long as you keep them in the garage, they're good to go. These tires will last. They're not dry rotted at all. They are old. They're 13-year-old tires. But they still got full tread. And there's no dry rot on them because they've been stored inside. Does the heater run off coolant? Yes, it does. Yeah, it does, Sea Kraken. There is a tap off on the water pump. There's a tap off on the water pump. There's basically two hoses that come out of the water pump. One is your it's your pressure line to the heater core, and the other one is your return. The pressure line is not under high pressure. It's not that bad. But the heater does work in this truck. It works fine. I restored the whole dang heater box on stream in 2020. I don't know if you guys remember that. The whole heater box is super clean, super brand new. I took the whole thing apart. We scrubbed every corner of that thing because I was afraid there was a mouse nest in it or something because it's old. This truck was stored outside for a long time. And then I put rust converter on it, and then I clear coated it. I painted it and then clear coated it. We took the blower motor apart. And got the original blower motor working. That blower motor is like from 1957 or something. We cut and spliced the original harness into that blower motor, and then I gave it modern connections so it would hook up to our new wire harness. It works. It's a 59 OE Thunder, yeah. The Evaporust worked amazing. Dinner's ready, okay. All right, I'll be down in 15. Here, you know what, I'll just show you. I'll show you guys, give me 1 second. We'll put this other camera to use. It's gonna be tough to see with no lights, and the truck is really high up in the air. the truck is like F350 height. So like it screwed with me having to jump up into the dang thing. All right, let me just take this tripod. Very nice. Let me close up the glove box here because that has the registration in it. I don't need you guys seeing that. What it would feel like with a lift. Dude, this thing is super high up off the ground, man. I mean, we're going to put this thing back down, and this is going to be like here. And I'm going to be like, what the heck? You know? It would look cool. I mean, 59 was the first year that Ford offered 4x4 in a truck like this. It has the provisions for it. How cool would it be to take like a, get a 351, put a ZF5 in it from a 9th generation, ZF5 4x4 with this thing, and get like a Dana 60 for the front, and I mean, that 9-inch in the back is just fine. I mean, a Dana 44 would probably be better for this type of truck, but wouldn't that be sick? That'd be pretty cool. I don't want to do that with this truck though. That's what the 97 is for. Hell yeah, truck stream, there you go. All right, so where is my interior camera? There we go, ready? Whoop. There you go. Yeah, I have the Crown Vic front end for this. That's, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's the interior. And if you see over there, I have to move that wire. That wire fell when I took the interior apart to get the shifter. But I gotta check the shifter. Something is weird with that thing. I gotta put this thing on the ground and make sure that sucker works. But it's got a steering column from a Chevy Monte Carlo in it, believe it or not. And
this is space. I'm in space.
Spliced the wire harness. We did all of that. I know it looks like a rat's nest under there. Don't worry about it. We did all that on stream. And then I restored, that's the speaker wire right there. And then I restored the heater box right there too. See, that's clear coated so it won't rust. But it looks sick. And it's got fuzzy dice. It's got fuzzy dice. So, you know. RC, 10 subs. All right. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Simple gauges compared to today's cars. Dude, it's cool. That Speedo is awesome. Yeah, it ain't bad. Yep. It's fuel top left, temperature on the top right, generator power on the bottom left, and I forget what the bottom right is. Oil. Yeah, that's the oil pressure sensor. So those two bottom things will turn on if you're not generating power or you don't have oil pressure. Yeah, it's got pull knobs. That first one right there, that one turns. That one's the wiper. This one is the lights right there. And then the two in the center, this one, and there's another one right there. Those are the vents. You can see right there, there's just a butterfly valve in there that opens, and there's an intake in the cowl, and air will blow at your feet. That's how you get air conditioning down there. The other way to get air conditioning is just you take this thing, turn that forward, and the vent window. See that thing right there? And then on the other side, I have the choke. There's the choke, and then there's 12 volt constant, which is tied into USB ports so you can charge your phone. And then I have just an AM FM stereo in here. I put a tack on it. It does have a tachometer. Just because your ignition is there, high beams are this button in the footwell right there. And then, you got brake, gas, and the clutch pedal would be right there if it was a manual. It does have tilt. This GM steering column has tilt, which is pretty rad. And then you got turn signals, and there you go. That's it. Simple. Very, very simple. It's not complicated. This is a very simple vehicle. I like it a lot. This is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I've had it for a long time, and I'm happy that it's not leaking. Actually, speaking of that, let's go to camera 3, take a look under there. Are you going to do flame trench? Yes. How many miles does it have? I have no idea, Skeleton. That gauge cluster, dude, That gauge cluster I built. I built it out of 3 or 4. I did that on stream as well. I built it out of 3 or 4 good gauge clusters. That odometer is not exactly right. Let's just say this truck has 200,000 miles on it, and we'll go from there. What? How many cars do you have? 7? 7 cars. No oil pressure sounds like a bad idea, yeah. Pet peeve of mine when people who drive with the steering wheel in their lap, yeah. You're learning to TIG weld so you could do some stainless work. All right, Loco, there you go. All right, well, we got everything done. A Dana 60 on your 1500 HD 4x4. Nice. I thought you had 5. Well, 7 on the property. Two of them are Ernox, 5 of them are mine. They're like Pokemon. Yep. Starting to get smoky in here. A little smoky. All right. Well, she doesn't seem to be leaking. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get that pan down underneath the thing again after I drain it, and we're going to see if she leaks. It doesn't, guys, I'll be honest with you, it would have leaked. It would have leaked by now. If it was gonna, it would have leaked. But then again, you never know. Things got to warm up, they got to cool off. Better open the garage door then, yeah. You guys can see the next project if I open the garage door if you want. So when we're done, when this thing is good to go, got to drive it a few times. Well, I don't have time to do that. So that's going to have to wait until after. Here, I'll show you what the next one is. Can you see that? That's the next one. Logan, you asked about it earlier. You didn't see it. You had an 88 F350 with a 351 four-wheel drive with 4-speed. Most bulletproof truck you ever had. Yeah, man. Behind that Dodge is an 87 F350 dually, quad cab long box dually with a 460 and a C6 behind it. Sterling 1025 rear end, running 410s. We drove that thing from California to here. I miss seeing that car. That thing is sick. Well, the next thing we're going to do, guys, once this thing is good to go, I'll probably just push it off to the side. We'll bring the Coronet in here, and we got to figure out what this thing needs. We got to figure out what it needs. It needs a lot. It's rusty. The 87 is Ernox truck, yes. Hey, Wood, 57-month resub. Thank you. Sterling 1025 rear end is the wheel hubs. So Alex, it has an axle, and the axle has a retainer flange. You take the axle off, and then you can take the drum off from there. The 1025s don't have like the integral thing, which sucks. That thing's really a pain in the butt to mess with. Needs a Pro Line Hemi. The Coronet would do nice with a 5.7. I almost had one ready to go, and then the guy negged out of the deal, which kind of sucks. I had one of my neighbors has like a 2004 Ram 2500 quad cab short box. Or no, it's got to be a 1500. And it has a 5.7 in it. And he was like, he bought another truck, and I was like, what are you doing with that? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, I'll give you $200 for it. And he was like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Let's do it. And then, like, I talked to the guy a week later, and I was like, I went over with cash in hand, right? Talking about a week later, I'm like, here you go, man. He's like, oh, yeah, I think I want to keep it and make it a project. And I'm like, oh, all right. What year is the Coronet? It's a 69 Coronet. I was like, oh, okay, that's, sure, whatever. 200 for an 04, what's wrong with it? Everything. The engine is the only good part, Jim. In fact, he should be paying me to remove it from his yard. Yeah, RCLC on Flame Trench. Yep. Oh, I gotta put the pan underneath it again. Give me 1 second. Let me. Thank you for all your help, dude. I appreciate it. Should have a good time on the trench. I'm just gonna drain this pan. And then we'll call it a day. All right, that should be good enough. Ugh. That false positive when it came out of the breather is not great because it definitely is, all the stuff that got on the transmission cross member is dripping. It's definitely a false positive, but there, I cleaned that off sufficiently. We'll know if it's leaking. We'll definitely know. All right. You need a square body in your life. I got something way better than a square body, dude. The transmission is probably trash on that Ram. Yeah, I wasn't planning on using the transmission. The 5.7 Gen 3 Hemis from Chrysler bolt to a torque flight transmission. It'll bolt. Everything is completely aligned. Dodge never changed it. From the 5.2 LA, the 5.7 and 5.9 LA engines to the 5.9 Magnum engine to the Gen 3 Hemi engine. The bolt pattern for the transmission is the same. So what I was planning on doing, Article, is taking the harness and the ECU out of that Dodge and splicing it to the Coronet's harness, which I can do. I wired this truck up. It's not that hard, just tedious. And I was going to bolt it to the torque flight that's in that Coronet. It would have bolted. That Hemi might be a little bit too much for that 904, but 904 was Chrysler's light duty transmission. There's two types of torque flights. There's a 904 and a 727. The 904 is light duty, like this C4 transmission, and the 727 is a heavy duty transmission, like the C6. If we're going to talk in Chevy terms, turbo 350 and turbo 400. It does not have a 440 in it, Clang. I want to put a 440 in it. That's what I want. A 440 would bolt into that. Or the 5.7, that plan went out. So a 440 would bolt. It would bolt into it. That Coronet it's a sedan, first of all. So it's got 4 doors, guys. But here's the thing. A 2-door Coronet in that condition costs like probably 20. Yes, that's not an exaggeration. 20 times as much as what I paid for that thing. Easily 20 times. Like, easily. So I think I heard a drip. No. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Why not keep it error correct? I would love to. That'd be great. A 440 in there would be fine. But if we get a 440, I'm going to need the 727 transmission because 440s don't bolt to 904s. Because, well, believe it or not, so Chrysler 904 torque flights, right, are the light duty transmission. The light duty transmission can only bolt to a small block. The flex plate has a certain pattern that only bolts to a small block. Now, the heavy duty transmission, which is the 727 torque flight, there are 2 types of 727 torque flights. There's small block torque flights and big block torque flights. So you could get a 727 small block or a 727 big block transmission. I got to find a 727 big block if we're going to put a 440 in it, because that 904 will not bolt to it. Chrysler never bolted a 904 to a big block because the 904 is a light duty transmission. I'm paranoid, David. What do you want? So, yeah, what I really want to do is go find a 440 and a 727 from a motorhome, clean it up, put it in the coronet, and do all the rust repair. That coronet needs a lot of work. It needs a trunk, it needs a floor, it needs rockers. Quarters are okay. It needs trunk extensions. And that's about it. Yeah, the quarters are kind of shot though, but they're not shot enough to where we'd need a new quarter. I'll show you guys. So after I go down to Starbase, when I come back from Starbase, we'll finish this up. We'll put the exhaust on this thing, make sure this thing is cherry, make sure it works just fine. Then I don't want to put this outside, to be honest with you, but the coronet might need a lot of work, but I prefer to just put this thing back on the dollies and slide it over there for now. You also need to go to dinner before Flame Trench is 4:30. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, Nutman. Just thought I'd pop in and say hi from Southampton. Hello. And then what I'll do is in the coming weeks after I get back from Starbase, I'll bring the coronet in here. We'll put the thing up on the stands, and we will go around and make a list of everything that needs to be fixed. I'm not going to lie to you. The coronet is out of my skill set. It is very out of my skill set. But two things. One, just like any challenge that we do on the computer, right? Go big, right? It's way out of my skill set, but we'll learn. Second thing is, it's a sedan. No one cares. No one cares about a four-door Chrysler from the 60s. Everybody wants the two doors. So no harm, no foul. Let's learn on a cool car. It's going to need a big notebook. That's for sure. All right, dudes. So that's going to do it for this part of the stream. I'm going to teach myself how to do plug welding and metalwork. We're going to teach ourselves with the welder. The welder's going to get a real good workout in February, you know? So I'm going to take this off. Stand by for loss of signal from the not from the office. Loss of signal from the garage as expected. Okay, we're back. All right. So, you guys know the drill. I am going to, actually, I don't know, should we? I'm going to stop the YouTube VOD, and I'm going to go do the flame trench for NASA space flight. Yeah, if you're on Twitch, we'll just bring up the feed over here. Hopefully we can get the feed right. You have the combination. Yes, I do. So, yeah, I'm just going to go wash up real quick, get something to eat, and I will see you guys for the flame trench in about 26 minutes. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the truck streams. There's going to be more. I'm telling you, we got a lot of work to do with that coronet. There's a lot. It's going to be a lot of tedium, a lot of measuring, blueprinting things. You guys will like it. It should be good. I'm pretty sure I know how to do it, but seriously, how hard could it be? Anyway, I'll see you guys in a little bit for Flame Trench. Thank you very much for watching.